Hello, it's fangdrag again, and I'll continue telling Taka's story. Where was I? Ah, yes, Taka's car. Well, in this part, called Taka's Anger, I'll follow Taka's story as a teenager, and after that. Oh, and another thing, don't watch this chapter if you haven't watched the first part. Okay, let's begin. After everything that happened to Taka, I mean, his transforming this car, everything seemed to go normal. But no, even if Taka was trying to be normal and good, his anger was getting stronger and wanted to take over Taka, or as we'll call him from now on, Scar. Scar and Mufasa became teenagers. Mufasa was very happy and wanted to make Scar happy too, but poor Scar couldn't be happy. He had to hold down his anger. Day by day, Scar's anger was getting stronger than him, and one day Scar laughed at Mufasa. Mufasa tried not to get angry. He only talked with his brother. Scar, don't you remember? You said you get over with this, right? Yes, Muffy, answered Scar. I'm sorry. Will you stop? Continued Mufasa. Then Scar looked very sad and ready to cry. You know what it's like to hold your feelings. Okay, just don't cry. Mufasa tried to cheer up his younger brother. You should go get some rest. Scar listened to Mufasa and went somewhere. He sat down and tried to sleep, but a terrible cry for help didn't let him do it. Scar was angry and went to see who was joking, but the only thing he saw was a drowning cub. An instinct made Scar jump in the river and save the cub. He decided to take it to Pride Rock and leave it to a lioness. But the small cub wanted to stay with Scar. All right, Scar said to the cub. Do what you want, but at least tell me your name. I'm Zira, the cub answered. Soon Scar learned that Zira's mom was dead, and she had to run away from home. He decided to keep the cub until it becomes a teenager. Days passed, and one day Scar couldn't control his anger and bit his brother. Mufasa was angry and knocked down Scar to the ground, telling him, "Don't do that again." "I'm sorry," cried Scar. "I didn't want it." This incident also passed, and Scar tried to hold his anger, but only one thing could destroy the balance. One day, Scar saw Mufasa and Sarabi together, talking nicely, kissing, and other stuff. If Scar had any patience, now it was gone. He wanted to kill Mufasa so badly, but he had to control his temper. Nothing happened that day. Well, not that day. It wasn't so long until Mufasa told Scar that he and Sarabi will marry one day. Scar's heart was broken. After Zira heard that, she was very, very sad about him, and she tried to cheer him up, but couldn't. I think that now is the time to mention that Zira loved Scar from the day she saw him. Anyway, back to Scar. He was very confused. Everything in him was messed up. I mean, his feelings, his thoughts. He tried to find what should he do. He wandered around, and without knowing, he went into the elephant graveyard. There, 3 hyenas attacked him. Scar just said, "Okay, eat me. I don't care. Mufasa ruined my life, and I don't want to live no more." In that moment, Scar heard a very familiar voice. "Don't we know you?" said the voice. Then Scar looked at the hyenas. It was Shenzi's voice, and the other 2 hyenas were her brothers. That moment, Scar realized so many things that I can't even tell. It took just a few hours to Scar to explain everything that happened to him to the hyenas. They told him that Hadi had killed their mother, and they want to make him pay. In that moment, an evil idea flew into Scar's mind. "We'll poison Hadi, and we'll kill him," laughed Scar. "But how?" Banzai asked. "You got to steal some poison herbs from Rafiki's tree," was Scar's plan. So, the hyenas managed to steal a poison from Rafiki's tree and gave it to Scar. He just put it in Hadi's favorite water pool, and after Hadi swam in it, Uru and Mufasa thought it was some sort of an illness. After 2 days, the king died. Scar and the hyenas celebrated, but there was another little problem. Mufasa and Sarabi were going to marry and become the king and queen of the Pride Land. Scar had to think about an evil plan for killing his brother. Scar decided to live somewhere outside the Pride Rock. Mufasa honored his decision. And, if you ask me, this was another mistake. Mufasa grew bigger. Animals started to like him. Scar also was getting bigger and stronger. And one day, while he was wandering around, he bumped into Serafina. Scar decided to have a little fun with her. So he offered her to take her near the river. Serafina, as I told you in part 1, was in love with Scar and accepted. A few minutes after this, Scar heard from some animals that the king will have a son. Scar smiled and went to see Mufasa. "I want to congratulate your wife," Scar said to Mufasa. Mufasa said, "Okay, I'll call her." After Scar met with Sarabi, he told her, "Babies are easy to lose. You better watch out." Then Scar turned around and laughed. And, without Sarabi expecting, Scar turned again and attacked her. Zazu tried to protect Sarabi. Mufasa heard Sarabi's cries for help and ran to her. He managed to save Sarabi from Scar's claw attack. Scar ran out of Sarabi's cave angry. Mufasa was very angry at Scar then. So he went to find his brother. When he found him, Mufasa told him, "What is your explanation for your behavior today, Scar?" "You don't know what it's like to be me, Mufasa!" Scar roared at his brother. "I have no choice," said Mufasa. "You must come with me, Scar. I'm giving you a punishment. No more wanderings around. You will live on Pride Rock with me and Sarabi until my son is born." So Scar was punished. He didn't like it. He felt like a prisoner. He had to eat his anger again. After a few months, Mufasa thought that his son's birth is tomorrow. Scar wasn't pleased. "I want you to be on the celebration," Mufasa told Scar. The next day, Simba was born, and Rafiki presented the cub to the animals of Africa. Mufasa and Sarabi were happy. But Scar didn't go on the celebration, so Mufasa came to ask him why. Scar just made fun out of Mufasa. Mufasa knew something else, that Scar's punishment was over, and he could go wherever he wants again. Scar went to Serafina first and tried to seduce her again, but Serafina saw something new, something changed in Scar. "You've changed," she said. "Let me go." Then she ran away. Days were passing, and Simba was growing. His father taught him everything for being a king. Scar hated Simba. The cub was always on his head. So Scar planned to provoke Simba to go to the elephant graveyard, where Shenzi, Ed, and Banzai will kill him. The plan was working just fine until Mufasa came, scared the hyenas, and saved his son. Scar was mad and went to the hyenas. While they were eating, Scar thought for the perfect plan to kill his brother and Simba. "Mufasa has always spoiled my plans. This time I'll kill him first, then smell Simba." Scar laughed. The next day, Scar took Simba in the foot of one gorge. He left Simba there to wait for his dad to come with a present for him. Meanwhile, Scar gave a signal to the hyenas to move on with the plan, in which they'll scare off a herd of antelopes. The antelopes ran down the gorge where Simba was waiting. Scar ran to Mufasa and told him that Simba was in great danger. Mufasa jumped in the moving herd and saved his son. But he, again, fell down in the herd. Mufasa managed to hold by a rock, but the rock began to drag down. Mufasa looked up and saw Scar. The king begged for help his brother. But Scar just caught him on the paws and pushed him back into the herd of antelopes, which smashed and killed the king. Simba was very sad after his father died, but never knew who killed him. Scar came to calm Simba and scare him off to run far away. Then he called the 3 hyenas and told them to kill Simba. Sure that Simba was dead, Scar returned to Bright Rock and told the bad news to the others. So Rabbit was very sad and cried all night.